Good morning, Assalamu alaikum, and hi. Welcome to the morning show with me, Ayza, Omar. Sunny today in Lahore, though this early morning we're barely seeing the sun. It's really foggy and groggy outside. But today's lows will be around 18 degrees centigrade with highs reaching around 30. And in Islu, there are chances that you'll be seeing some scattered rain and definitely cloudy skies. Lows of 15 degrees centigrade will make for a chilly evening in the capital with highs expected to go only as far up as 26 degrees centigrade. And Karachi, you're also looking at a partly cloudy weather forecast with temperatures ranging around 22 degrees. And now, you've heard the headlines at the top of the hour. Let's take a look at what the papers around the world are saying about the news. But in fact, let's start with the national news, why not? The Express Tribune is reporting on the case of delayed pension payment of rail employees in the Supreme Court. The Apex Court has directed Pakistan Railways to file references against corrupt officials in the NAB and retrieve property confiscated by the land mafia. Now, the Chief Justice Iftikhar Mohammad Chaudhry added during the hearing, "It is sad to know that we can build tanks and missiles, but we cannot repair locomotives." Now, in the Dawn, highlights are about the government's decision to reduce petrol prices by 1.54 rupees per litre to end at 87.4. Noting that this is not fully reflective of the declining international oil prices in order to cover adjustments made in petroleum levy. Diesel prices remain unchanged. Now, Daily Times reports on another Khyber Pakhtunkhwa minister surviving an attack by the Taliban. Terrorists opened fire on Housing Minister Amjad Khan Afridi in Kohar district, but the bulletproof car he was travelling in saved his life. That's a relief to hear. Now, in the international papers, I will start off with the New York Times. A news analysis piece, a scathing news analysis in the New York Times reads, "For Pakistan, deep ties to militant networks may trump US pressure." Now, after US Secretary of State Hillary Clinton visited Pakistan, the message sent was very clear. Either Pakistan's spy agency delivers the Haqqani network or fights it in its rested tribal areas. According to the US, the Haqqani network is a major impediment to the peace process in Afghanistan and a threat to the lives of the US soldiers who were deployed there, which is why the US continues to pressure Pakistan's spy agency to weed them out. Pakistan, on the other hand, according to this news piece, seems to acknowledge them as assets in the future scenario when the US forces will withdraw from Afghanistan. The whole argument seems to be teetering with its slew of unnamed sources over a graduation ceremony last year in July at one of Pakistan's largest religious schools in Cuttack, where allegedly top members of the Haqqani network were present. I highly recommend you take a look at this piece, read it. Do let me know what you think about it. Send feedback at tms@express247.pk. Now, on the other hand, let's see what The Guardian has for us today. The Eurozone's latest crisis splashed on its front page. Greece has said it will hold a referendum on a new European Union aid package intended to resolve the country's debt crisis. And the referendum will also have a no-confidence vote on the deal. Under pressure from his nation and his own party, Premier Papandreou has played a big gamble and said he has to respect the will of the people. On the other hand, Al Jazeera reports a strong quake that's hit northwest China. Now, it brings us the latest international story of this hour. A strong 6.0 magnitude earthquake hit a remote part of the northwest China region. The quake struck around 96 kilometers east city of Yinying in China's Xinjiang region at a depth about 27 kilometers. And this is a very vast, highly populated region, about 20 million people residing here. Roughly 9 million are mainly Muslim ethnic minority. Just recently, in August this year, again previously experienced an earthquake of 5.2 magnitude, and there were some injuries reported. So far, we don't have details whether this earthquake that took place today has caused any injuries or fatalities. But stay tuned, we'll bring you more updates. Now, this is something that you should be brought up to speed with. The United States, which had taken charge of the Israeli-Palestinian peace talks, has now ceased funding for UNESCO immediately after the organization granted membership to Palestine. A move that has people across the world shaking their heads at the apparent hypocrisy. Now, the UN Cultural and Educational Agency has taken the step, despite the fact that the US had to follow its 21-year-old law prohibiting the payment of funds to any UN body accepting Palestinians as full members. But even as millions of US dollars will be withdrawn annually, members of UNESCO backed the Palestinian bid in overwhelming numbers. 140 votes to 14 actually in 52 countries, including the UK, abstained. It was obviously a defiant blow to Israel as well, which is also considering punitive action. As one Israeli official put it, UNESCO deals in science, not science fiction. Palestinians, meanwhile, are jubilant. Though largely symbolic, this move will allow the Palestinian Authority to seek World Heritage status for historical sites. Now, moving on, this should be really interesting. One of the reports published by UNICEF states that more than a third of Nepal's 12.6 million children live below the poverty line, a fact intensely captured by photographer Chan Wok Hung. His photograph, which you can see here, won the award for Best Environmental Photograph of 2011. According to the photographer, these two children comfort each other in a scrapyard in Kathmandu, Nepal's largest metropolitan city. The children live with their grandmother and search the scrapyard for things to sell, using the money to buy food. Now, according to the photographer, when this picture was taken, they really hadn't found anything to sell and hence were clinging on to each other, comforting each other when he snapped the shot. Now, the Environmental Photograph of the Year contest honors amateur and professional photographers who raise awareness of environmental and social issues. So take a look at this photograph on the website here and get more details on this. Now, lightening the mood a little bit, early morning, too much harrowing news coming, morbid. Okay, so who says Halloween is all about scary movies? I know, I'm still sort of dealing with the Halloween hangover here. We've been talking about it continuously, but this is different. An animated Shrek spin-off, Puss in Boots, snatched top spot at the box office this weekend with 34 million, the best Halloween weekend debut ever. Well, hang on, we'll show you the trailer. Let me quickly tell you about the Fairless cat that looks very adorable, especially when it's trying to be cute. The audience really gave it a roaring applause, and the studio marketing spent quite a lot of money on promoting this movie, and it's actually beat Paranormal Activity 3. Now, Puss in Boots is worth every penny at the theaters, brilliantly rendered by DreamWorks Animation, one of my favorite, especially their work is so massively different from others. This is a very adorable, not to mention how it's pulled itself out of Shrek's increasingly mind-numbing franchise. Antonio Banderas and Salma Hayek breathe zest into this film, making it an overall treat. He's definitely the cutest kitty I've ever seen. So, now a little bit of gossip. I don't think it's very sad, it's rather amusing, by the way. Just a day ago, Kris Humphries was the envy of men around the world, with gorgeous reality TV star Kim Kardashian at his side as his wife. 72 days after the couple had a lavish wedding ceremony, she filed for divorce, and he finds this out on gossip website TMZ. Ouch. Do I hear any of you wanting to be in his sad basketball shoes now? I don't think so. Their wedding ceremony cost an estimated $10 million and was subsequently televised to more than 4 million viewers. But soon after the honeymoon period was over, the two decided it was not until death that did them apart. Humphries said he and Kim had discussed the possibility of a divorce, but had believed that they could work out their problems. Now, the basketball player said he did not know Kim was filing for the papers until this morning. The Kardashians, meanwhile, have said this divorce will not tarnish Kim's brand. In other words, the reality show must go on. Really kind of strange, isn't it? They spend so much money on this reality show, promoting their relationship, end up getting married for only 72 days after spending $10 million, and then suddenly Kim Kardashian decides that she can't work out her problems and files for divorce. Bit of a publicity stunt, by the way, if you think about it. Anyway, moving on, how would it feel to have news of the moment you were born broadcast all across the globe? Effectively making your birth a milestone in history. A bit like Salman Rushdie's Midnight Children, when the narrator of the story, Salim Sinai, is born at the stroke of midnight on Pakistan and India's independence. If you read the book, you will immediately get what I'm talking about. Now take that to a global scale, and the child born yesterday becomes the 7th billion baby that came into this world. Let's take a look at this report.
It took only a dozen years for humanity to add another billion people to the planet, reaching the milestone of 7 billion. China is the world's most populous country with 1.3 billion people, but it has adhered to the 3 decades of family planning efforts and has seen 400 million fewer births. China's population might have reached 1.7 billion without the family planning policy.
It created a favorable condition for development. The work-age population accounts for high proportion in the whole population, which provided adequate labor force to the economic development over the past 3 decades.
Fewer births help to relieve China's pressure in providing schooling, employment and housing for the youths and create good conditions for economic development and social stability. However, problems in population structure arose when the population growth slowed down.
China has prevented 400 million births over the past decade under this policy. However, the contradictions in the population structure and the problem of an aging population have become more and more severe. We should achieve a balanced development in the size and distribution of age groups in the population.
The world's 5 most populous countries are China, India, the US, Indonesia and Brazil. With some of the world's poorest nations doubling their populations in the next decade, the second milestone will be in 2025, when the global population will reach 8 billion.
Well, I wouldn't say this is exactly the best news of the year. I mean, 7 billion people right now, in 2025 estimated to be 8 billion. A lot of burden on our natural resources. But, well, I guess for some people in the Philippines, it is a reason to celebrate, where a baby girl was born in a government-run hospital and there was a big sort of celebration. Anyway, let's move on to something a bit quirky from India. The Indian Grand Prix kicked off on Friday, but it's not just Alonso who's stolen the limelight. Stray dogs are becoming a serious matter at the Formula One race in India. 2 have already made an appearance. Now, the straight circuit near New Delhi is one of the longest in Formula One, and cars will reach a top speed of around 315 kilometers per hour. Hitting a dog even at a far lower speed could easily kill a driver if his head takes the impact. Now, Ferrari's Fernando Alonso said he was confident that the dog problem had been resolved. Now, driver safety is very much on the minds of everyone in Formula One after a grim few weeks for motorsport, with double Indy 500 winner Dan Weldon and Italian MotoGP rider Marco Simoncelli killed in track accidents. Horrible indeed, but I'm sure they'll be taking better care this time. Now it's time for our favorite segment, at least mine. It is the breakfast segment time. We're checking out what Brazilians eat today. For one thing, they're all about the sauce. Food needs to be dripping down their chin. Now, Brazilians refer to breakfast as either café da manhã, which means morning coffee, or desjejum. Breakfasts vary in different regions of Brazil, with black coffee, milk, yogurt and white cheese providing widely popular. Coffee or juice often accompanies croissants and other kinds of pastries. French bread with jam or butter, grilled sandwiches, cheese and tomatoes, slices of cake such as corn cake or orange cake, which I really wonder what it tastes like, carrot cake even. In the southern states, a steaming yerba mate infusion in a traditional goat called chimarrão is often drunk. The cold version is called tereré. As you can see, the quite bright and colorful breakfast they've got there. And the drinks look refreshing. Anyway, now we're going to take a look at what happened today in history. It has been called the perfect marriage of pure and straight photography. This fleeting golden moment, tilted moonrise, was captured on this day by photographer Ansel Adams in 1941. We'll just show you the photograph. It should be on our screens any second now. There you go. And Adams described it as a desperate moment to shoot, as the late afternoon shadows fell over in the town of Hernandez in New Mexico. Now, the image is one of the most famous in the history of photography. Just take a look at that. Isn't that just fantastic? Riveting image. It's sometimes the greatest shots come out of the most unexpected shoots. I mean, as a photographer, as an amateur photographer or a professional one, you've probably been through this moment, and you'll be really surprised what you can get. Now, what you're looking at on your TV screens, this gifted actor has a knack for playing roles of the mother of a misfit, be it the anxious mother in The Sixth Sense or the depressed mum in About a Boy, Toni Collette gives her characters a sense of organic reality. Now, Collette, turning 39 today, is an Australian actress and musician known for her acting work on stage, television and film. She earned an Academy Award nomination for Night Shyamalan's, I can never get his name right, even though I'm a fan, The Sixth Sense director, right? With Bruce Willis. And now, Ezra Pound, who died on this day in 1972, was an American expatriate poet and critic and a major figure in the early modernist movement in poetry. He was responsible for advancing the careers of some of the best-known modernist writers of the early 20th century, including T.S. Eliot, James Joyce, Robert Frost, Ernest Hemingway and E.E. Cummings. Death anniversary today. Lots of black and white stills there and morbid music, but not to get your hopes up yet, another very depressing event took place on this day. A tragedy occurred in a nightclub in France. A catastrophic fire broke out at a club sank set, killing 146 people, mostly teenagers, wiping out an entire generation. Firefighters found bodies piled 5 deep around the exits, which had been padlocked and barred with planks to keep out gate crashes. Now, the close-knit town of Saint Laurent du Pont was in shock as nearly every family suffered a loss. A tragic incident indeed. But let's try and recuperate from this sort of string of tragic news that we've talked about. A bit too morbid, but you know, like it happens every day when you switch on the television, something's out there. In fact, most of the news that you come across is not the best. It sort of, you know, makes you feel really cynical and bitter about how, you know, things unfold, especially if you're a Pakistani who's been living here watching the news. You know, we're on a certain tangent, I agree, the media here. But, you know, nonetheless, the point I'm trying to make is that every day doesn't have to be as depressing as it seems from the media. You as a person need to, you know, pull out that positive streak in you and go ahead with a very positive frame of mind so that you can make the best of your day. And you know, that's really contagious because it spreads out and it's coming out, like this vibe is coming out from you and affects the people around you. So anyway, before I keep ranting, let me take a quick short break here so you guys can go refill your coffee cups. I'll see you on the other side. Welcome back. Good morning. You're watching Express 24/7's morning show with me, Ayza, Omar. And now it's that part of the show where we introduce a very interesting person as our guest and we ask questions and we really wake them out of their stupor since they just got up and it's really early. And today we have with us Arsalan Alvi, who has come to Pakistan all the way from Copenhagen, Denmark. This 20-year-old youngster is a Taekwondo expert and holds a black belt, so you better watch out. Sit straight in your seats, no messing around with this guy. He is part of the Danish national team and recently became the national champion in the minus 58 kg category, which is I think under 58, but we'll ask him, he knows better. Now he has decided to represent his ancestral country and is bidding to represent Pakistan by the 2060 Olympics. Little hand of applause. Thank you very much for joining us. What a great gesture of our, Alvi. Arsalan Alvi. I'm sorry. Here I am telling you you're not alert enough. Look at me, messing up your name. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for joining us here. I understand you're leaving Pakistan tomorrow, right?
That's correct. I'm leaving tomorrow.
You're leaving tomorrow for Copenhagen?
Yes.
Okay. I can't pronounce that karate martial art form thing that you do. How do you say it?
Taekwondo.
Taekwondo. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to get it right, so let's forget it. You are the national champion in Denmark, right?
That's correct.
So what is this minus 58 kg category?
It's just like boxing. Instead of age groups, there are weight groups. The lowest men senior weight group is called minus 54 kilograms, and then minus 58, minus 63, minus 68, minus 74, minus 80, plus 80, and plus 87.
Right. So they don't want to use under 58 kg. They think they want to make it sound technical and say minus 58.
No, it's because it's from 54 kg till 58.
Okay.
So when I get weighed, I have to weigh maximum 58 kilograms, or I can also weigh 55.
So it doesn't matter how old you are?
As soon as I'm 17 or plus, then I'm a senior.
Oh, so you can qualify in any category according to your weight.
Correct.
Okay, so tell me, Arsalan, how did you get into all of this? You're 20 years old and you're a national champion. That's huge. When did it start?
It started when I was 12 years old. I had tried a lot of things before: karate, swimming, badminton, and then my friend introduced me to Taekwondo, and I tried it once, twice, and then I fell in love with it. It was me. It was fun. All the dynamic kicks, the excitement, and then yeah, I've done that
These are
since.
shots of you, aren't they? I mean, that looks pretty brutal. Look at those. Those guys are like twice your size. How do you manage?
We manage. It's Taekwondo is basically a clever man's sport. It's not. You really need to think about what you're doing, and as you can see, the chest protector. You need to kick with your foot, and then if it registers, you get a point, or you kick in the head, and the judges will think if it's a point, able to give a point or not.
You get a point for kicking somebody in the head?
That's correct.
Please tell me that's not why you like the sport.
No, it's the dynamic kicks, the excitement, because it's 2 minutes per round. We have 3 rounds in all. So it's 2 minutes where you're fully concentrated inside the ring, and you just kick, then
And
break.
beat the crap out of the other person.
Yeah, you try to.
So, I mean, okay, so what happens? Have you ever been kicked in the head so hard you blacked out?
No, not until now. But I've kicked someone in the head before,
And they blacked out?
and they blacked out.
Oh my god, that's scary.
It's the part of it.
They must make you a very popular person in school.
No. It's just when I train. Then I'm another person when I step into the ring, and when I'm out, then I'm a shy person and
Really?
quiet one. Yeah.
That's what they say about actors, and who you know, as soon as they get on the set, they completely, you know, snap into that whole character.
Yeah.
So it's really like that in Taekwondo as well. You have to have a sort of frame of mind that just thinks of kill, or something like that. I don't know.
No, some have. Like I seem to enjoy when I'm at a tournament. Like on this Friday, I'm going to Croatia. So, and now I'm here in Pakistan.
Were you here for for a competition here in Pakistan?
No, I was here for my brother's wedding. And yeah, it's also giving me a break from training, and so I'm all chilled out. And on Friday, I'm going to Croatia, Zagreb. And then, yeah, I'll get weighed in Friday afternoon, and on Saturday, I'm going to compete.
So that's nice. You get to travel the world, right?
Yeah, I've been all Europe around, Azerbaijan. I'm going to the States next year, and yeah, Paris in December.
Wow.
So I get to travel a lot.
I want to beat people up and move around the world for free. That's a nice thing to do. So tell me, do you play video games? Is what's that called? Street Fighter? Any inspiration?
I play all kind of video games. PS3, play computer games, FIFA, Street Fighter, Taken,
You're right.
Metal
Okay.
Gear Solid.
So you've got all the games labeled V for violent, right? Is that what it is?
No. Football, basketball, and then I enjoy soccer with my friends in my free time. Spend time with my family. It's a normal boys routine.
Fantastic. Really active boys routine. Don't your parents worry that you might get injured or I don't know,
all
hurt
the
by
times,
them?
especially my mom. All the times. Whenever I come home from a tournament and I'm injured, and she says, "Why do you do it?" I said, "Mom, I love it. That's why."
So वो क्या पढ़ के फूंकती हैं before you go for a competition?
दुआएं मांगती हैं कि मेरी कोई हड्डियां ना टूटे या ऐसा कुछ.
So you come back and she counts your fingers. Okay, all right, we're good.
I think it's a typical mom thing.
Yeah.
That happens with everyone. If you're a footballer, taekwondo player, or even table tennis player, it's
how is Taekwondo different from other martial arts forms? Like karate is very popular. So how is it different?
It's as I said in the start, it's a clever man sport, because I'm a blue competitor and there's a red competitor. We have 3 rounds of 2 minutes. If I go in my first round and give all I have, in the 2 next rounds, then I'm all dead. Then I don't have any energy or any tactical movement. That's why you slowly need to step up, take a step at a time, score your points, and yeah, be more clever than your kick at the right time and at the right places. And
Is there any no-go area where the rules say you can't hit the opponent in?
Yes, below the hugo.
What's the hugo?
The pictures will come. Where my black belt is right now. Vasinicha, you can't kick.
Okay, so that's a penalty point.
That's the whole penalty point. You get a half-point deduction or a full-point deduction. Right, like here, the red vest, the blue one, and the helmet. That's the part where you can kick.
So are there any these moves? Do they have names, like funny names or strategies that like?
The kicks have funny names. Like this one, it's called dalyuchagi,
which means?
It means side kick, turning kick, and yeah. This is at a festival in Copenhagen. This is a big shopping center in Copenhagen where we had to do a little show.
So you were taking part in a national championship exchange recently, yes?
Yes, in March.
In March. Where was that and how was the experience?
It was in Denmark, called a place called Oslo. Odense. Odense. It was very good. I won 2 matches and won my final match against a former Danish champion.
Oh wow!
Who's competing for 2012 Olympics this year.
Does that make you the first Pakistani Danish champion?
Second.
Second? Oh, so
yeah, they are. My current coach, he's been in that weight group before, but it's 15 years ago.
And he's Pakistani?
Yes, and he's coaching me. My 2 coaches are Pakistani and they coach me.
Is there a significant population there in Denmark of Pakistanis?
There are a lot of Pakistanis, and slowly there are many more Pakistanis coming to this sport. Because it's not like Thai boxing or MMA as we see. It's not full contact, brutal sports where you're hitting each other everywhere. Because people, especially my mom, she also had those thoughts that, oh my god, okay, he's gonna go in and gonna break a leg and come out. But it's not like that. Oh, it's not like that.
So,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, also my coach's daughters, they train. Their sons, my younger brother, he also trains, Hamad.
So it seems to be a very popular sport amongst Pakistanis there.
Yeah, it is. It's slowly beginning to become one. And also in Pakistan, I came here, I saw that also for Olympics 2008, I saw Pakistan was, for the qualification rounds, there were four in all, 2 men and 2 women. Yeah, I've talked with a international referee here in Pakistan. He's also saying that it's slowly beginning
to pick up. So the women competitors you came across in Pakistan, are they a tough match?
They're a tough match.
Really?
Tough women. No, seriously, they're really tough. But outside the ring and outside the training hall, they're just like any other Pakistani woman.
And they perform at like an international standard. The rules they follow. There's no sort of.
They're professional.
They're professionals.
Just like someone else.
Now you've also decided to represent Pakistan in the Danish national games, I believe. Yes, is that it?
It's I'm
in the Olympics. Sorry, in the 2016 Olympics.
2016.
So what made you take this decision? I mean, you were born in Denmark, you were raised there, and now you want to represent Pakistan.
Because my mother country will always be Pakistan. My parents come from here, and I love my country. I've been here many times before, and I feel home here. Even though Denmark is my home, but Pakistan, I will call Pakistan my home because my roots are here. The culture here is what I'm used to, even though I'm born and raised here.
Oh.
So yeah, and I also want to. I also want other younger Pakistani boys and girls to get into a sport and get off the streets and do something with their life, because I know that everyone can. If I can do it, anyone can.
You know, it's so refreshing to hear, Arsalan, that a youngster your age who's living in a foreign country, like in Denmark, I'm sure the lifestyle is very different. It's much more safer. It's much, there are so many things you can get into as extracurricular activities. Who actually wants to come back and represent Pakistan? I mean, this is absolutely great, and I can tell you, the morning show team is already a huge fan of you. I mean, I'm hearing little voices in my head saying, "Oh, this guy's great. We're so glad we got him on the show." So, I mean, best of luck, and I hope you get the representation. What is the process, though? How does this work out? Will you have to move back, or tell us a little about that?
Oh, I've applied for overseas Pakistani nationality card, and inshallah I'll get it. Because my parents also have the Shanakhti card. So, and I also talked to the federation here in Pakistan. They said no problem. But I'll still live in Denmark, train there, and 5-6 times a year come to Pakistan, train with the other, and then and at the international tournaments in Germany, Turkey, Azerbaijan, Sweden, I'll travel with the Danish team or with my club, but beside my name, instead of Denmark, we'll say Pakistan.
So in 2016 in the Olympics, when you inshallah win a gold, will that be handed over to you as a Pakistani player, representative, or as a Danish Taekwondo?
A Pakistani, because I'll be representing Pakistan. I'll be wearing a suit where instead of Denmark behind, we'll say Pakistan.
Wow.
But I also call myself a Danish Pakistani, because I live in Denmark. What I am because of Denmark. It's not that I've forgotten Denmark, but Pakistan is the country I love more.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's super. That's really good news. God, you made my day. This is wonderful. Now, a little strange question here. Taekwondo seems to be a really aggressive sport, right? You need a lot of sort of energy, and like I had admired a guy who'd walk in with like huge biceps and like a huge wrestler look and would just stomp in and the ground would shake. You're a regular young 20-year-old. How do you manage beating up these big guys? Don't say it's a clever man sport, because you're starting to make us feel really stupid here.
No, I train very hard. I train every day, and the only free day I have is Saturday, where I spend time with my family and friends. And otherwise, like Monday I train twice, Tuesday I train 3 times.
3 times in a day?
In a day.
Why? I mean, how? How does that even work?
I train before I go to university at 6 a.m. in the morning, and my lessons start at 8. So yeah, 1.5 hour training. When I come home from university, I go out jogging, running, and then in the afternoon there's a training session with the team. And then Friday, Saturday off, Sunday again 2 times. So yeah, my life is structured, just like a school timetable.
Wow, it's really in routine. And you're enjoying this? You plan to take this forward?
I'm fully enjoying it, and I've got the support from my family and friends. And yeah, I think that's the best part, that I'm getting the support from my family and friends, because without them it wouldn't be possible to stand where I am right now today.
That's true. That's so true. One quick last question. Would it be okay if we give out your Facebook handle so that people who are interested in learning Taekwondo can get in touch with you?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so it's Arsalan Alvi on Facebook, isn't it?
That's correct.
Okay, so Arsalan Alvi is on Facebook. You can contact him, Alvi as in ALVI, and get in touch with him if you're interested in Taekwondo. This young individual is a Danish Pakistani, is here all the way from Denmark and has already applied to participate and represent Pakistan in the 2016 Olympics, which is really incredible. So do get in touch with him if you have any questions, even if you just have words of encouragement. I mean, from us at The Morning Show, kudos to you to make this decision. All right, now time to take a quick short break and we'll be right back. Don't go away. welcome back. Get your pens and papers out. It's time for the word of the day. Drum roll. No, hang on. Title first. Sorry, producer sir. There you go. Word of the day. Yay, fancy graphics. All we need is graphics nowadays. Now, can we please have the drum roll? There you go. The word is cogent, which means intellectually convincing. For example, if you want to use it in a sentence, you can say her arguments in favor of the death penalty were so cogent that the teacher had to give her an A. So that's a new word for you SAT kids who are preparing for the SAT, or even generally want to expand your vocabulary. Cogent is the word that we talked about. I hope you remember, by the way, the words that we went through the past few days. Well, if you don't, too bad. Let's move on. The quote that I'm going to leave you with, since we've come to the end of the show, is from someone that you've been hearing a lot about in the past few weeks, and for good reason, because, you know, he was a pretty important person. But let's take a look at who we're talking about and what his quote is. It's Steve Jobs, and he says, "You can't connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect them looking backwards." So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. Now, what I understand from this quote is that generally he's trying to say is that things don't always pan out how you want them to pan out. You can't plan everything in life. You can have aims and objectives, yes, and sometimes you get very frustrated when things don't work out the way you thought that they should. But that's not really a bad thing, as Steve Jobs says in his very aptly computery sort of style. The dots that connect can only connect when you're looking forward, not when you're looking forward, but when you look backwards. Essentially means that in retrospect, things start to make sense. And usually what happens for the best. So please don't lose hope. Have faith. Have that positive attitude despite what goes on around the world. And like Steve Jobs was so successful in his life, despite the hurdles he went through, you can too. All right, it's time for me to leave. I will see you tomorrow morning, bright and early, with your cup of coffee and hopefully some breakfast, so we've got some energy to go through the show. All right, take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.